Welcome.
and have a seat with us at the King's table.
So, welcome to part 2, the video that we haven't been able to edit and get out to you guys. So, we're going to re-record, but we're going to start with part 2. You might see this part, you might not.
We kind of talked about, we went over loss, and I can't remember what we talked about because it seems like it's been forever. But I know, we talked about kind of my mom and just like going through loss and like emotions you go through, and kind of wanted like your guys' feedback. I know there's a lot of people that have gone through loss, and we talked about different types of loss.
Yeah.
So like I lost my mom. I also mentioned I lost my brother years ago, and Christella, you mentioned that you had lost.
Yeah, I lost more material things that kind of don't matter, but at the same time, at the end of the day, they can
still
have you
hurts.
feeling down and out.
Yeah, I mean, it still hurts.
Especially when you lose your apartment and you have to move out in 3 weeks with rent being so expensive now.
I'm sure, a lot of people
And then-
can relate to, like, that's,
Yeah, and then having a pit bull in Arizona, that's kind of sucks because you can't.
to find anywhere with your
Yeah.
pets. So I realized after we videotaped that I didn't really mention what happened, like to my mom and also to my brother because I mentioned him too.
Yeah.
So so earlier in the year, February, I was with my mom, and it was like, so I just graduated this year.
Congratulations!
A long time, finally graduated, got my bachelor's. But earlier this year, it was February, just starting my last semester at GCU again. I just started school, and I was with my mom, and we went, to go kind of work on my uncle's house. Well, anyways, we were cleaning the house, and it was dusty, and I heard like a sound in like the hallway, and she was in the hallway, and she was like heading towards the bathroom, and she's like, my nose is running, but she had like a muffled voice, and I thought also like her mouth was kind of drooping slightly, and so I knew something was kind of wrong, and I said, say that again, are you okay? She's like, my nose is running, but I could kind of tell something was off, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I think you're having a stroke, like, I don't know, I think we should call 911, let me sit you down. And I would say it's funny, but it's kind of like, if you've ever seen the video, like they do videos, like, if you're gonna have a stroke, like all the signs and symptoms. It was just like that. I was like, I think you're having a stroke, sit down, let me call 911. And for those who don't know, I do caregiving. I've been doing caregiving the past few years. So I'm like a certified caregiver, and it's just been like something I've been doing while I'm in school. So that was like kind of common sense to me, but I wasn't 100% sure because I thought I could be wrong. But I called 911. They get there. They like look at her. They take her vitals, her blood pressure, and everything. And they're like, well, her blood pressure is good, and everything looks good. And I said, well, what about like her speech was it sounded a little slurred to me, and so they have her say something, and then she sounds clear all of a sudden. And then I said, well, her mouth also looked kind of like slightly crooked. And I go, smile for me, and she smiles, and she's fine. They're like, no, it's definitely not a stroke. And there's like 4 EMTs there. And they're like, yeah, it's good that it's better safe than sorry, but she's okay. I'm like, okay, well, okay. I was like, I kind of just trusted their word for it. So they leave, and I'm like, well, let's just go home. Like, maybe they're right, maybe it's the dust. And so we get in the car, and like she insists on driving. So I'm like, okay, because we're not far from home. But then I realized that no, something's off. Like your speech sounds like slurred. And so we end up calling a friend from church, and they say, yeah, something sounds off, and we end up taking her to the emergency. And long story short, because she was having a stroke, and they couldn't give her the medicine in time, like the special medicine that you would need to stop the stroke. So she had a full-fledged stroke, and it affected the left side of her body, kind of left her immobile, but she was healthy, and so I didn't get to see her for a month. And I was in school, so the whole time, like busy with school, but calling her every day, and finally got to see her. And like I got her to see her once, and she was like pretty like alert and awake. And then after a month that I didn't get to see her, she was like not really responsive. So I had to like, I finally got permission to see her every day, and she started responding. And we brought her home, and she got to come to my graduation, which we were like working towards. But unfortunately, she ended up getting a bed sore, and which we didn't have a special mattress, and there was a whole bunch of things involved, like some things that I didn't know at the time. So bed sores, these are just some good things for anybody who doesn't know. Warnings about strokes and warnings about bed sores, like just know those signs. A bed sore can develop within a day. Really, it can progress to like a stage 4 within a day.
Well, especially because your mom was diabetic, right?
Yeah, not just the fact that it didn't help that she was like diabetic, but also like when you're immobile, like, yeah, wow, I didn't know how fast they can progress. So that led that she had to go into the hospital. She went in the hospital in May, and she never did get to come home. She did get to go to rehab for 2 weeks, but she ended up having to be put on a ventilator just because different issues just kept happening. And I went every day, spent time with her because we were super close. And like I've said so many times, like we saw so many miracles. Like Christella knows, like I'd have to call all my friends and family and church, like pray, like her heart stopped, like. And we brought her back, like she was revived within almost months, like 4 times. Like just random things would happen, and she was unresponsive, or like they didn't know why she was so lethargic because of the stroke. And then she started coming out of it, praise God, like she was awake. I was able to really spend quality time with her, sing with her, you know, she had a sense of humor really through all of it. So she would joke and smile with me. So a lot of precious moments, but it was just, I mean, I graduated and finished school in May, so that was like tiring. Just like got that over with, and then it was just straight hospital every single day, like 10 hours a day, 14 hours a day, be with her. I learned so much about, like, more than I was a caregiver, but I learned so much more about medical, about wound care, and all that. But yeah, so then it was just pretty sudden that she kind of passed away September 14th. And it was because she was sick, but she was really doing good though. And she had just got moved to the rehab. And then that next day, the nurse came in to check on her and she passed away. So it was really sudden. And I had just, I had gotten to see her the day before, because I never missed a day to see her. And I said, I love you, Mama. And she was like, I want to come home with you. And I said, you will. But, I know that she's with the Lord and just miss her a lot. And so then I also had mentioned my brother that passed away, because I did mention that in the last video.
I believe you did.
Yeah, I kind of brought it up, so I just wanted to mention so you'll know. He passed away, it's been 4 years now. He was my older brother, and we had a pretty good age gap. My mom had him like when she was like 19, 20, and she had me when she was in 40, so we had a good age gap.
Yeah.
But we were close, and we all lived together in the same home. He passed away of a stroke also. Well, my mom didn't pass away of a stroke, but she had a stroke. He had a stroke 4 years ago, and that was, he was in the hospital 10 days, and his stroke was like, I guess it was, I'm trying to think if it was on both sides of the brain, but it was on the left, it was a left brain stroke, so it was like, the doctors told us it took all his cognitive, where he would never be able to think or any like talk or walk or anything again. So they took him off for life support. I think he lasted like an hour. So that was really hard on my mom, of course, and me. But I think, I don't know, my mom was really resilient in that, but she thanked the Lord, and we both did, for having a wonderful brother, and she thanked him for having a wonderful son. And so I do the same, for my mom. I'm really grateful that I had a wonderful mom and a wonderful brother. But of course, like as we were talking in the first video, like losses, everybody deals with it differently, but it definitely is hard, even if somebody doesn't show it in the way that maybe we expect them to. I don't know, but it's something that I don't know. Life's never the same once you lose someone you love. Like you're able to find joy in things, but like it's not ever fully the same. But God gives us the strength to make it through every day.
Yeah. And I know in the first video, Victoria actually shared a passage in Job.
Yes.
But since my phone started messing up, I
reset?
actually lost it. Yeah. So that's part of the video that I lost. So and while you find it,
let me see.
Yeah, I definitely got to witness like so many times that the doctors told Victoria that Velerie would never speak, or she'd never open her eyes, or she'd never do this, that, or the other.
Yeah, nothing against doctors, but I mean,
we definitely believe,
but
in doctors and everything, but they don't always have the last say. They never have the last say, actually.
Nobody really does with God.
But the Lord, yeah. Everything that they would tell Victoria that Velerie couldn't do, she did. So that was in itself a huge testimony of her life and the way she led it. And like I spoke in the last video, I don't know if that part got cut out, but she was always speaking to people about Jesus, always speaking life into people, and even in her time of need, she never stopped praising the Lord.
Yeah, she would say, praise the Lord, hallelujah.
Even with a trach on and she couldn't really speak, she would say hallelujah.
Yeah, she'd mouth the words. And say, you're being healed, right? She said yes. Yeah, so I kind of reiterated Job because I felt like I've kind of been able to relate to Job lately, because I felt like that's what I mentioned. I had mentioned it because I lost my brother 4 years ago, and now my mom, and I have like a big extended family and some close family, but like my mom and my brother were like my immediate, so it kind of feels like now like, oh my God, even though I know this isn't true exactly, but like, oh, I lost like my family, So I kind of relate to Job, and in like in chapter 1, basically, he has everything. He's blessed with all these things. I'm reiterating, family, camels, and livestock. So
he's a pretty rich man.
Yeah, very wealthy. I bet if you take all this from Job, is he still going to praise you? Is he still going to, be your faithful servant, basically? So so God was like, well, kind of go ahead and see what happens.
He gave permission.
Yeah, so he lost everything. He lost
his children, his servants, his
home,
livestock,
everything. And so, verse 21, Job says, I came naked from my mother's womb, and I will be naked when I leave. The Lord gave me what I had, and the Lord has taken it away. Praise the name of the Lord. And all this, Job did not sin by blaming God. So, I don't know, that's why I thought of Job, because another time I think of like resilience, he's continued to praise God, because, that's like what my mom did with my brothers. Like, she dedicated him to the Lord, and she said, well, he never really was mine. He's the Lord's, and that's the same thing, like, how I like to think about it with my mom and my brother. They never really were mine, but they're the Lord's. And I praise him for, having them. But, and God blessed Job tenfolded and everything that they lost. And it's not like, I know my mom and my brother can't ever be replaced, but at the same time, I know that no matter what, God has a plan for me and for my family and friends, and I just keep trusting Him and keep praising Him, because life is really a
breath.
Yeah, it's like a whisper. So not very soon, not that soon, but I'll see them again. You know, I don't know. It definitely was a comforting scripture, and of course, I've mentioned a few times before King David, and who lost his son. And he wept and fasted for his son while he was sick, and then when his son passed away, he had a big feast. He woke up, he got dressed, cleaned himself up, and the servant said, "Why are you feasting? You're dressed. You just lost your son." And he's like, "Because he's in the best of hands now. I know that he's with my Lord." So, I mean, that's another comforting scripture. There's so many like in the Bible that kind of reminds us like the true, and it's not to take away from anybody who's mourning. Like, it's okay to cry, it's okay to get upset, maybe wonder why. We don't know why these things happen. Like, I still felt like my mom was young, even though she had me older. She was very youthful and just had so many plans. My brother he was young still. He had a lot of plans, things he wanted to do. It just happened so quickly, you know. I don't know why these things happen, but you know, God gives us that inner strength. And I don't know. I know that it's taking time, like I mentioned this last week, but like, yeah, I'll still like mourning, like God gives me joy, but I'm still like, you know, I know sometimes you call, I'm like, oh, I'm still in bed or something. Yeah. I'm like, because it's just like, oh, you know, things aren't the same, especially because me and my mom did everything together. So it's like, now what? Like, kind of, sometimes you get that feeling like, now what? Which, those are all like, I mean, it's normal to go through all these emotions when you're grieving. So there's nothing like wrong if you're feeling those type of emotions. But
or if they last a while.
Yeah, like, you can't expect to be like, oh, I'm better, I'm done, like, life's great, and, you know. No. But, yeah, just know that they're normal for anybody out there grieving right now. But at the same time, know that the Lord has you in His hands. And don't give up.
No, don't give up. And for anyone who has someone in their life that is grieving, be there. Whether they want you to or not.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be annoying.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Sometimes it can be annoying, but
yes, I'm fine.
but you know, you should definitely still do it, even if you're annoying.
Maybe go to their house and bring them Starbucks or something.
Duly noted. Do you want to tell them what they should take them from Starbucks?
Oh, wait. What kind of drink?
Yeah, what drink are you recommending?
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, or they don't have the. I used to love the mocha caramel frappuccino, but they don't.
So everyone who knows where Victoria lives, sorry, my Mexican's coming out. Oh. Pink drink, or whatever she just said, because I already forgot.
Yeah, she was listening.
But luckily, we have it on video.
Yes, so you guys can replay that.
Yes, if you forget at the Starbucks line, just replay the video and just kind of put it up to the speaker.
Yep.
And what size should they take said person?
I'd say go for the large one. I don't know.
The venti.
The venti, yeah. I still never got those. Like,
the sizes definitely make them drink water, because
she's like, drink water.
They don't drink water.
People that are mourning don't drink water.
No, they don't.
I mean, I don't know. It could be true. Sometimes if you're mourning, you're just like, oh, I don't want to. You know, I'm gonna I'm saying right now I'm taking a sabbatical kind of, even though we're doing videos and stuff. Yeah. But I'm still been like, I'm taking a sabbatical.
Yeah. I
got there and like I found she did pass, and so like I'm just there. Still, I mean, I love my mom so much. So I'm being honest. I was praying life over her. I'm like, Lazarus. Yeah. You know, I know we'll have to do another talk about that
Yeah.
But you know, when you're
I think that'll have to be a part 3.
yeah, when you love somebody so much, you just want to make sure you did everything you could. So I'm like praying over her, and so she texts me. She's like, "What's the name of the place you're at?" And you find it. You find the rehab place.
Yeah, because she didn't text me back.
Yeah,
but I remembered that she told me it was close to the hospital where she was at before. So then I just started calling everywhere till I found her.
She's pretty good, like private detective.
I'm a pretty good stalker.
Yeah. So she comes in and she finds me. I'm like, and she starts praying with me. But I mean, yeah, it did mean a lot because I was like, you didn't think I was crazy because I wanted to be with my mom all those hours because that was like 8 maybe, and I kind of stayed with her till like 2:33, like till they actually picked her up in the body. Yeah. And I mean, we prayed over her, sang songs. I'm like, Mama, if there's any way you can come back, you know. Mm-hmm. I just, you know, kind of caressed her and held her, which might be kind of weird to some people, but I just knew I might not ever get to. It's like, you know, like the person's in heaven, but like you're also attached to your body, like you're never going to get to hug your mom again or touch them, or especially like if you're like me and my mom, we had a very like close, like hugging kind of relationship. Mm-hmm. We always hugged, we always touched, kissed, you know, cheek to cheek, and so yeah, it was like I was there like sometimes just with her, and so yeah, Crystal was like, drink water, like, and that's why she was like, I scared Crystal. She's like, do you want to eat something? I'm like, I don't know if I can ever eat again, honestly. Like, I don't know, like I didn't feel like eating. I did kind of go on a fast, just a prayer fast for a couple of days, which I'm not one to normally do like long fasts, but like, and I didn't feel like eating because when you're lost, like, yeah, you don't feel like, I was like, am I ever gonna, it was a pretty, like, I know without the Lord it would have been even worse, but it was like kind of like the worst feeling. I thought, will this really bad feeling, this pain ever go away? Like, oh no, like, I won't be able to look forward to anything again, like, yeah. So that, you know, God's still healing me with that. Like, I'm able to enjoy things because, like, even me and my mom, we were, like, even with, like, when my brother passed, we were able to, like, separate ourselves and, like, laugh and, you know, joke and, like, still do things, but at the same time, it's like, there's just that feeling like, you're going to be able to look forward to things again, which I know the answer is yes, but just still even now, I'm, like, going through, like, yeah, I will. I will look forward to things. I do look forward to things, but yeah, no, it meant a lot to be there. Not like, yeah, just kind of pray with me, and you know, I'm glad that I was able to spend that time with my mom even after she passed. To me, it was like important. So sometimes it's hard to answer text messages or calls, especially like, this is no offense to anybody, but like when they ask like how you're doing, sometimes you just don't know what to say, honestly. And somebody says, how are you doing? And especially when you get like a big ton of a list of people asking the same question, you're like, I don't know what to say. I don't have the energy to answer. Like, do I go into detail? Do I say I'm okay? Well, I'm not bad. Like, this is a terrible, I know, like thing to say, but like, well, I'm not hanging off a cliff, so I think I'm okay. But yeah, because it's like, what? I'm breathing. I guess that's, now that I think about it more, I've been able to say, how are you doing? Well, I'm just still breathing. But sometimes, initially, when people would ask me, even when my mom was like sick in the hospital, they're like, well, how are you doing? Well, how are you really doing? I'm like, okay, I don't know what to say, you know, because sometimes it's just too much, you have so much going on, like it's almost like too many brain cells to have to work to think about what do I say, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, and everybody's like different. Like that was, I don't know, that was just for me. Like, and I don't get upset. Like nobody knows what to say. Too, I've spent a lot of time just being alone, being quiet by myself, and a lot of people know that. Like, yeah, when you feel like talking, you'll talk. But sometimes, sometimes you do just need to be alone, quiet.
Even though I think like the first few days I annoyed her like every 20 minutes. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm like worried.
Did you eat? Did you drink water?
Like,
who's there with you? I know. I asked her like every 20 minutes, and
Yeah,
she's like,
she was
I
that
told
person
you
that annoyed
I'm
me.
fasting.
No.
She's not joking. But it's alright.
Yeah.
I would rather annoy her and know
You
that
okay?
she's
You
okay.
okay?
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Leave me alone. I think she blocked me for a few days.
Never blocked any.
But yeah, I would definitely say be there, but kind of also,
But not be there. No.
but also kind of know, or not know, but kind of feel the
No.
situation. Yeah, because you don't know,
I guess
when to be there.
Pray to God to help
Pray,
you.
yes,
I think
to
too.
give you wisdom.
It helped. I mean, cause like I don't know. I wanted to be alone too, but it's been good. Like I've had commitments at church that I kept. Like not everybody can do this. Like so I know it's the Lord helping me, but like I'm still like I lead worship at church. We help with our young adults group, and I've had to coordinate. Even kept coordinating after that.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times it's like I really. It is terrible to say. It was like if I didn't have if I didn't have church and I didn't have all these commitments, I could just like be at home and never leave the house again. Like, darn. But no, it's good. Like it's good that I have these commitments because then I get out and I'm like, it makes me kind of forget. Like
Keeps
I
you
don't
busy.
know. It does keep me busy, even though like in the moment sometimes it's like, I don't want to leave the house though. But then I'm happy that I do. So
Yeah.
it is kind of good to have things like
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think those are like normal things too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So everybody's different in their grieving process. Definitely pray. I would say pray if you need to talk to someone. Find a friend that you trust, or a counselor. There's many Christian counselors.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't know any, but I'm sure we can find some resources and link them in the description.
Yeah, and one thing that I also just found out about too, the cemetery we went with, they actually have a grieving hotline that you can call, which is free, just if you want to talk.
Okay.
Because some people too, like they feel uncomfortable just talking, like they don't want to talk to anybody that they know. They might want to talk to a stranger. Sometimes it's more
Sometimes
comfortable.
it's easier because
Yeah.
they don't know you. And
Exactly. So there's that too. Like there's grieving hotlines, just if you want to really just feel like you want to. Sometimes it helps just to get it out and talk about it.
We'll try to find some links and phone numbers and
Yeah,
link them in the description.
And if you have comments or questions too for me or Christelle about this topic, you can also suggest.
Or also, if you need prayer for this
prayer.
or someone to talk to,
Yeah,
we're available. I mean, I'm not going to say that we're going to answer you right away in that moment, but as soon as we see it, we'll definitely first pray and then be able to speak with you and
you definitely want to be
help
here.
you in your need. Yeah,
Be here to pray for you. I definitely can at least understand partly the grieving and various situations, and we know prayer does so much. It means a lot sometimes just for somebody to say, let me just say a prayer for you.
Or even sometimes just a silent hug.
Yeah. Or you just kind of lift up your eyebrows to me sometimes. You're like, okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't say anything. I'm just like, and she goes, yeah, leave me alone. I'm definitely getting out of the house and not staying in a shell. Like, also, we get it. You have to have your time alone to grieve.
I have had people be like, you don't have to be strong. It's okay. Like, you don't have to be so strong. And I'm like, well, I'm not trying to be strong because I don't know. I think I can cry all day, which I do. Some people don't. But then I don't think I'm trying to be strong necessarily or anything. I mean, I guess there's like an unhealthy if you're just like ignoring the whole thing, like it never happened or something. But no, I don't feel like I'm doing that. To me, like I can't forget it happened. But yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say something else, but I kind of lost my train of thought.
I kind of just looked like I was trying to spin my head around, but I was actually just trying to pop my neck.
Yeah, it's October, but we don't use Halloween.
Just don't do things that put yourself at risk.
Yeah.
Like some people become like adrenaline junkies to
Like
not feel the pain.
like drinking or living on the edge.
Yeah, living on the edge.
I mean, I feel like I sometimes do that and actually accidentally, but you know, like driving.
She does. Driving is her extreme
I mean,
sport.
I do want to do bungee jumping and I want to jump out of a plane, but I wanted to do that before, so.
You don't like this candy. I don't know what to tell you. How does it feel to be lame? I'm just kidding.
It's fall. Oh, also, when you think about fall setup here, so it's October.
Pumpkin. So next month,
Yes.
not this month,
Yeah.
but next month we're gonna have a guest speaker, Selwyn Gray.
Season of singleness.
We're gonna be speaking about his book, Season of Singleness. He's married now, and his wife Desiree will also be joining us. So we'll be speaking about singleness. And since we're both single, we can put in our 2 cents.
Get some wisdom from them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So we'll be talking about singleness, marriage, divorce. If you guys want to read this, it's a short book, but it's really good. If you want to read this, I believe it's only on Amazon.
Okay.
But I will make sure with him, if you have questions about the book, that we can ask him for our video.
Yeah.
You can buy this on Amazon. Season of Singleness by Selwyn Gray. Well, thank you for joining us, and see you next time.
At the King's Table.
Au revoir.